Ever notice how the first 10 seconds after you wake up decide the next 10 hours? Before coffee, before headlines, before anyone needs you, there's a quiet doorway. Walk through it right, and the whole day feels lighter. Miss it, and you're already behind. When the Stoics talked about mornings, they weren't being poetic, they were being practical. When you rise, remember what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. That's not a hallmark line, it's a baseline. Gratitude isn't a feel-good garnish. It's a tool. It cuts through entitlement and anxiety and pulls you out of the mental fog into the present moment where your choices actually live. Let's be honest, most mornings look like autopilot. If that sounds familiar, it's not because you're weak, it's because your attention was taken before it was chosen. And attention is always training something. What you focus on first becomes the rhythm you dance to all day. Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." If the first thing you feed your mind is noise, stress, comparison, your day isn't busy, it's borrowed. But if you set a simple intention at the start, you flip the script. You stop reacting to the day and start authoring it. Here's a simple practice. Before your feet hit the floor, breathe in slowly, breathe out slower, and whisper out loud if you can, "I'm grateful to be here." Not because life is perfect, because it's present. You're still in the game. That one sentence is like turning the dimmer switch up in a dark room. Shapes come into focus. What matters returns to the center. Questions worth asking show up. What would make today meaningful? Who needs my full attention? What can I let go of? Maybe you're thinking, gratitude doesn't answer my emails. True, but it changes the person answering them. It steadies your tone. It widens your patience. It makes you harder to rattle and easier to trust. Think of the last time someone spoke to you from calm. Instead of panic, you felt it, right? Gratitude builds that calm from the inside out. Here's a quick picture. 2 mornings, same schedule. In version 1, you wake up grabbing the phone, scrolling headlines, jumping into messages. Your breath gets shallow, your shoulders creep up. By 9 a.m., you've solved 5 small fires and forgotten the one thing that actually mattered. In version 2, you start with 30 seconds of stillness and 1 honest sentence. It's a gift to be alive today. Emails still exist. Traffic still moves slow. But you're different. There's room between stimulus and response. And in that space, you choose. This isn't about pretending hard things aren't hard. It's about deciding who you'll be before the hard things arrive. And yes, some mornings will be messy. You'll forget. You'll tumble straight into the noise. That's fine. The point isn't perfection, it's pattern. Catch it sooner next time. Return faster. Each return is a rep. Reps become routines. Routines become character. If you want a practical way to start tomorrow, try this 3-step reset before you touch the phone. Name the privilege. Breathing. Thinking. Loving. I get to do these today. Name one priority. The single action that would make today a win, even if everything else goes sideways. Name one boundary. The distraction you'll delay for the first hour. News, notifications, or multitasking. Ask yourself, what kind of day gets built by those 3 choices repeated 100 times? Who do you become after a month of mornings like that? Picture it. A calmer presence, clearer eyes, fewer apologies to yourself at night. That's not fantasy. That's the compounding interest of attention. Here's my take from years of testing. Gratitude isn't just a mood, it's a stance. On days I start with appreciation, I don't chase peace, I carry it. On days I skip it, I chase comfort and call it productivity. One path leaves me scattered, the other leaves me steady. Which story do you want to tell when your head hits the pillow? Now, I want to leave you with a small challenge and a promise. Challenge. For the next 7 mornings, guard the first minute. No phone, no tasks, just breath in one sentence. I'm grateful to be here. Promise, by day 7, the world won't be quieter, but you will be louder in the ways that matter. Presence, patience, purpose. Take that doorway tomorrow. Start with gratitude and keep walking, because in the next section, we'll turn this foundation into momentum. How to let go of yesterday so it stops stealing today. What if the first 60 seconds of your morning decided the next 16 hours? Before the phone, before the inbox, there's a quiet doorway. Step through it with gratitude and the whole day changes. Listen, gratitude isn't a pretty caption, it's a lifeline. In a world that grabs your attention before you even remember who you are, gratitude is the anchor you throw into the water before the storm begins. One breath, one sentence, and suddenly, you're not drowning in notifications, you're standing on solid ground. Here's how we'll do it. 3 deep breaths, hand on your heart, one clear line. I'm grateful to be here, not to perform, not to impress, just to be here, breathing, thinking, loving. That tiny ritual flips a switch inside your nervous system. It tunes your inner frequency from reaction to choice. You feel the difference. Your shoulders drop, your mind widens, your priorities step forward. You might think, nice idea, but I've got deadlines. Exactly. Gratitude doesn't erase hard things. It equips you for them. When you start from appreciation, your brain stops hunting for danger and starts looking for direction. That's how you move from pressure, purpose, from speed, stillness. It's the difference between a day you chase and a day you lead. Let's make it tangible. Picture 2 mornings with the same schedule. Version A, eyes open, thumb scrolls, headlines spike your pulse. By 9 a.m., you've put out 5 tiny fires and forgot the one thing that actually mattered. Version B, eyes open, 3 breaths, hand to chest. I'm grateful to be here. You still answer emails and hit traffic, but now there's space between stimulus and response. You don't snap at the barista. You don't spiral when plans shift. You choose your tone. You protect your focus. You leave the day with energy left. This isn't woo-woo, it's wiring. Studies from places like Harvard and Berkeley have shown that regular gratitude practice correlates with better sleep, higher optimism, even markers of stronger immunity. Why? Because what you repeat, you reinforce. The brain literally gets better at what you train it to notice. Start the day hunting for what's working, and you'll spot more of it without ignoring reality, but without letting fear write the script. Now, a thought worth carrying: reflection is part of a life well lived. But reflection isn't the same as rumination. When you pause each morning to say, I'm thankful to be alive today, you're not pretending the world is perfect. You're choosing to be present enough to meet it with clarity. That's the kind of self-examination that leads to action, not overthinking. Here's a 60-second protocol you can steal tomorrow. Breathe 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out, 3 cycles. Name 3 privileges you have right now. Breath, a person you love, a skill you get to use. Name 1 priority, the single task that, if done, makes today a win even if everything else slides. Speak it. I'm grateful to be here. Then stand up and go. If you want a real-world test, try this for 7 days. Put your phone on airplane mode before bed. When you wake, don't touch it until the ritual is done. On day 1, you'll feel awkward. By day 3, you'll feel lighter. By day 7, you'll notice you're less reactive, more deliberate, and oddly harder to manipulate, because gratitude centers you, and centered people don't chase chaos to feel alive. Let me ask you, who are you when life doesn't go to plan? The person who snaps, or the person who steadies the room? Gratitude builds that presence. It makes you the one coworkers trust, partners exhale around, kids feel safe with. And the best part? It costs nothing but attention. A quick story. A client of mine, high performer, always on. We added a 45-second gratitude reset before his first meeting. Same calendar, same pressure, different person. He stopped flooding his team with urgency and started giving them clarity. The feedback? You're calmer, but somehow we're moving faster. That's the paradox. Begin with stillness. Produce with strength. And if your mind argues, but I don't feel grateful today, that's okay. Gratitude is not a mood. It's a muscle. Some mornings you lift light, some mornings you lift heavy. What matters is the rep. One honest breath, one honest sentence. Over time, the muscle grows. So here's your commitment right now. Whisper it with me. I'm grateful to be here. Let it be the first brick in the road you'll walk today. Because when you start with gratitude, you don't spend the afternoon chasing peace, you carry it with you. Take this minute tomorrow. Guard it like a life raft. Then keep watching, because in the next chapter, we'll stack the second habit on top of this foundation, how to release yesterday so it stops stealing today. Be honest, are you waking up and dragging yesterday into today like a heavy suitcase? One awkward conversation, one mistake, one missed shot, and suddenly a brand new morning already feels old. If that's you, here's the shift. Yesterday doesn't own me. Say it now. We're not denying the past, we're denying it the steering wheel. Here's the problem. The mind loves reruns. Regret, embarrassment, other people's expectations, loop, loop, loop. And every loop taxes your energy for the day you're actually living. The Stoic move isn't to pretend nothing happened. It's to draw a clean line between what was and what you choose now. You are not a replay. You're a decision in progress. Think of this like a boundary, not a blackout. You can acknowledge the chapter without rereading it all morning. Psychologist Carl Jung put it simply, you're not the event. You're the person choosing who to become after it. And Epictetus would nod. The event is raw material. Your response is the craft. That's where your freedom hides in the moment you say, I get to choose the next sentence. Let's make it physical. Before you even reach for the phone, close your eyes and picture a backpack on your shoulders. Inside are stones labeled regret, guilt, what ifs, their opinion. Now feel your hands slide the straps off. Hear it drop to the floor. Exhale. What changed? Your body knows. Shoulders lower. Breath deepens. The nervous system receives the message, we're safe. We're starting clean. That 10-second ritual is tiny, but it tells your brain what team you play for. You might say, but I have real consequences from yesterday. Of course, bills are real. Deadlines are real. Apologies are real. Letting go doesn't cancel responsibility. It clarifies it. When you stop spending energy refilling the past, you free energy to repair what needs repairing and build what needs building. Release is not avoidance. Release is what lets action be precise. Quick picture two versions of the same morning. Version A, you replay the awkward comment, scan for who's disappointed, promise yourself you'll make up for it by overworking. Version B, you do the backpack ritual, name the lesson in one sentence, and choose one honest action to move forward. Same circumstances, different driver. One of these versions writes a new page. The other scribbles over yesterday's. Aristotle reminded us that habits shape character. Make letting go a habit, and something beautiful forms. Faster recovery, quicker forgiveness. Imagine being the person who bounces back the same day, not the same month. That's not personality. That's practice. And practice is available to anyone willing to repeat. Here's a 60-second protocol you can steal for the next week. Backpack drop. Visualize, exhale, reset. Name the lesson. One clear sentence. No drama, no excuses. Choose the move. One specific action that honors today. Send the apology. Set a boundary. Decide what you won't carry into the next hour. No rehashing the story, no fishing for reassurance, no doom scrolling. Let me ask you a hard question. Who are you trying to impress, your fear or your future? When you keep replaying old scenes, you're auditioning for a role you no longer want. When you let go, you step into authorship. Socrates valued and examined life. Yes, but examination is an excavation. You don't dig until it bleeds. You observe, understand, then release. That's the difference between reflection and rumination. One informs you, the other imprisons you. A quick story from coaching. A team lead kept reliving one heated meeting. Every morning, same mental movie. We installed a 90-second yesterday boundary backpack drop. One lesson, one constructive act. Within 2 weeks, her team said she felt lighter but sharper. She didn't get amnesia, she got agency. That's what happens when you stop fighting the past and start directing the present. If your mind pushes back, but I messed up, good, own it, then upgrade it. I made a mistake. I learned a method. The first identity is stuck. The second is moving. Remember, letting go is not soft. It's strategic. It keeps your hands free for the work that matters. Say it with me one more time. Yesterday doesn't own me. Let the words land. Let them widen your chest. Today is a clean page, not a court sentence. Sign it with a calm pen. Guard that boundary tomorrow morning. And stay with me, because once you stop carrying yesterday, you'll need a new center for today. In the next section, we'll build that center. The daily discipline of, I control my mind. What if the loudest voice in your day didn't come from your phone, your inbox, or the news? What if it came from you? For the next 60 seconds, borrow this belief. I control my mind. Not the market, not other people, my mind. Start here, and the rest of the day has to answer to you. Here's the truth most of us forget before breakfast. Life doesn't ask who you are. It tests who you've trained. The Stoics knew this. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Translation? The storm can keep storming, but the helm is still in your hands. That's not denial. That's direction. So how do you claim that power at 6 a.m.? When your brain wants to sprint into headlines and to-do lists, use the silent window, that tiny slice of morning before the world gets loud. Sit for 1 minute. No music, no scrolling. Just breathe in slowly, breathe out slower, and watch your thoughts like clouds. They can float by. They just don't get to drive. Tell yourself, I am not my thoughts. I'm the one watching them. It's amazing what happens when you stop letting every passing feeling grab the wheel. Plato called self-conquest the first and greatest victory. Notice the order. First, win that, and emails, traffic, and timelines stop feeling like personal attacks. You create a gap, the space between stimulus and response where choice lives. Inside that gap, dignity returns. Inside that gap, you pick your tone before the world picks it for you. If you want science with your stoicism, here it is. Your brain is plastic. It rewires itself according to what you repeat. Spend your mornings doom scrolling, comparing, reacting, and your brain gets better at stress. Spend your mornings anchoring, breathing, choosing, and your brain gets better at calm. You're training either way. The only question is, for what? Let's make this tactical. Try the 1-minute mastery protocol for the next 7 mornings. Posture plus breath, 15 seconds. Sit tall, shoulders down. Inhale 4, exhale 6, 2 cycles. Name the frame, 15 seconds. Say it out loud. I control my mind. Pick your identity before your calendar picks it for you. Label and let go, 15 seconds. When a thought pops up, email, worry, comparison, label it once, then let it pass. Point the compass, 15 seconds. Choose one behavior that matches who you want to be today. I respond slowly. I finish one deep task. I speak calmly under pressure. That's it. 60 seconds. No incense. No special app. Just a tiny, repeatable win that tilts the day in your favor. Maybe you're thinking, but what about days when I blow it? You will. Everyone does. The goal isn't to never slip. It's to notice sooner and return faster. That's Stoic awareness. Not perfection, but recovery. When you catch yourself spiraling at 10 a.m., don't narrate a failure. Run a micro reset. One breath in, longer breath out. Repeat your line, I control my mind. Then choose the next right action. Control isn't a mood, it's a move. Here's a simple picture. Morning A. You wake, unlock the phone, and read 3 urgent messages. Heart rate jumps. By 8:30, you're short with your team and drowning in tabs you didn't mean to open on your laptop and in your head. Morning B. You wake, sit for 60 seconds, set your compass, and then open the same messages. This time, there's room between you and the ping. You answer, but you don't absorb. You steer, you don't splash. Aristotle said we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence isn't an act, but a habit. Make mind mastery your first habit, and watch how it leaks into everything else. You pause before replying. You plan before rushing. You protect deep work like it pays your rent because it does. 1 minute doesn't sound like much until you compound it across 365 mornings. That's 6 hours of deliberate training a year, front-loaded into the moment that matters most. A quick story. A client of mine, a nurse working night shifts, swore she didn't have time for mindfulness. We shrunk it to 30 seconds before shift and 30 after. Same patients, same alarms, different presence. She told me, I still get tough cases. I just don't give them my peace for free. That's the point. You may not control the hallway. You do control the headspace you bring into it. If your mind still argues, come on, 1 minute can't change my life, smile and do it anyway. Because 1 minute doesn't need to change your life. It only needs to change your trajectory. 2 degrees today is miles different by month's end. So tomorrow morning, guard the quiet, sit, breathe, label, choose. Say it clear enough for your nervous system to hear, I control my mind. Then stand up and live like it's true. Because when you lead your mind, you lead your day. And when you lead your day, you change your life. In the only place life ever changes, right here, right now. Keep that line ready, because next we'll stack it with something just as powerful. A mindset that turns pressure into presence, kindness as a form of strength. What if the strongest person in the room isn't the loudest? The strongest is the one who brings calm with them. No show, no tricks. Just a presence that says, you're safe here. That presence has a name. Kindness is my superpower. Kindness isn't a cute add-on. It's the root system of real inner strength. Money can buy attention. Hacks can buy efficiency. But only kindness, steady, sincere, disciplined, can change the weather in a room. When you stand firm in your values and still choose to be humane, you become soft to the touch, steel at the core. That's not weakness, that's mastery. You can feel the difference. Harshness tries to control. Kindness chooses to self-control. One drains trust, the other earns it. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, when kindness is authentic and consistent, it can't be beaten. Why? Because it takes away the game. You refuse to mirror pettiness. You answer heat with clarity. You stay gentle, but you don't surrender your principles. Here's the inner work behind it. Carl Jung taught that knowing your own shadow is the best way to face the darkness in others. Translation: when you've sat with your own insecurity, seeing that doesn't excuse bad behavior, it unhooks you from it. Now you can respond with clarity instead of ego. And there's a simple rule that keeps me honest. Be kind, because everyone is carrying something. The person in front of you might be fighting a battle you can't see. When you remember that, your tone softens, your patience lengthens, and your choices get smarter. You correct what needs correcting, but you don't add cruelty to the pile. Kindness becomes a strategy for truth, not a substitute for it. Let's make this practical. Take 30 seconds every morning and pre-decide one kind act you'll do today. Something small and specific. Offer a sincere compliment to the quietest person in the room. Close the laptop and listen without interrupting for 2 minutes. Text someone, thinking of you. No need to reply. Visualize the moment. See their face. Feel your voice. When the moment comes, you'll already have momentum. Then add a micro protocol you can use in any heated moment. Pause, name, choose. Pause for one breath. Name what's happening inside. I feel defensive. Choose a response that matches your values. Clarity first, then firmness. This is kindness with boundaries. You're not people-pleasing, you're principle-keeping. Does this really work? Here's a quick story. A project lead I coached had a habit of snapping when deadlines slipped. We replaced the snap with a sentence. Thank you for flagging this. Let's get specific about the fix. Same pressure, new posture. Within a month, turnaround time improved, and the team reported less fear, more ownership. Nothing magical, just consistent kindness that made responsibility feel safer. And that's the point. Kindness isn't a mood, it's a practice. The ancients reminded us that excellence is built by repetition, so stack it into the habits you're already building. You start your morning anchored in gratitude. You claim your focus. I control my mind. Now you carry it forward. Kindness is my superpower. Make it the way you answer emails, run meetings, give feedback, handle delays. Day after day, it becomes who you are. You won't nail it every time. Some days you'll be tired, rushed, or tempted to match someone's worst moment. That's okay. Notice it. Repair quickly. Return faster. The power of kindness isn't in never cracking. It's in how fast you recenter and lead again from a clean place. Here's your 60-second setup for tomorrow. Breathe in 4, out 6 2 cycles. Set intention. Today I choose clarity over ego. Pick one act. Compliment, listen, or check in text. Pre-decide a boundary. I won't respond while angry. I'll draft, breathe, then send. What happens when you repeat this for a week? Rooms start to relax around you. People bring you the truth faster. Conflicts shrink because respect grows. You stop chasing approval and start building influence that lasts, the quiet kind that changes outcomes without needing applause. Say it with me once more, clear and steady. Kindness is my superpower. And keep walking with me, because once you lead with kindness, there's one more shift that deepens everything. Remembering that everything is temporary, so this exact moment is the one worth living well. What if the fastest way to slow life down wasn't a vacation, a new app, or a perfect plan? What if it was a sentence you can say right now? Everything is temporary. This moment is all I have. Not to scare you, to wake you up. Modern life is loud. Your calendar sprints. Your feeds never sleep. The Stoics had a phrase for remembering what truly matters. Memento mori. A gentle reminder that nothing is guaranteed, not even the next hour. When you let that truth in, the world doesn't get darker. It gets clearer. Stress is temporary. Pressure is temporary. Joy, too. And precisely because it passes, it's precious. Think about your best memories. They weren't big because they were long. They were big because you were there. Presence turns minutes into meaning. Philosophers describe time as the moving image of something larger. Call it eternity. Call it the big picture. Psychology today echoes the same point in practical language. The ability to be here, not replaying yesterday or rehearsing tomorrow, is a cornerstone of mental health. When you practice presence, anxiety loses air. You stop drowning in what if and start breathing in what is. So how do we do this in the real world? With meetings, kids, traffic, and noise. You train it like any other skill. The Stoics chased a calm, center, inner stillness that doesn't shake every time the world does. You don't have to disappear to a mountain to find it. You can build it in the hallway between back-to-back meetings. Try a micro practice right now. Pause. One deep breath. In through the nose. Longer out through the mouth. Locate your body. Feel your feet inside your shoes. Notice your hands. Name the senses. One sound, one smell, one texture you can feel. Return. Say quietly, I'm here. That's 30 seconds. No gear, no ceremony. Here's why it works. Your attention is a lens. When it's scattered, everything blurs. Problems grow teeth, and you miss the small good that could have anchored you. When the lens is steady, choices sharpen. You speak slower, you listen better. You place your energy where it moves the needle, not where it feeds the noise. Presence doesn't remove chaos, it repositions you inside it. Let's make it vivid with 2 mornings. Morning A, coffee in one hand, phone in the other. 10 tabs open, both on your screen and in your head. By noon, you've chased fires, accomplished fragments, and feel oddly empty. Morning B, same schedule, but you start with a breath and a sentence. This moment is all I have. You feel your feet, you choose one priority. You step into the same tasks with a different center. The world didn't slow down. You did. And somehow, you get more done with less panic. This isn't spiritual detachment, it's practical performance. When you're present, you stop giving time away to things that don't deserve it. You stop arguing with reality and start working with it. That's why the wisest teachers tied a good life not to some distant finish line, but to virtue and action right now. Integrity isn't a speech, it's the way you send an email, handle a delay, or look someone in the eye when they need all of you for 60 seconds. If you like structure, here's a 90-second presence protocol to run 3 times a day: morning, midday, evening. Breathe 4-6. 4 counts in, 6 out. Anchor. Feet, hands, breath. Feel each one. Name reality in 1 sentence. What is actually happening? Choose one aligned action. A reply, a boundary, a next step. Release the rest. Temporary. Let it pass. You'll notice something odd after a week. Time feels wider. The commute becomes quieter. Coffee tastes richer. Conversation lands deeper. This isn't magic, it's math. You stop living 10 steps ahead and recover the 1 step you can control. Even the hard moments soften at the edges. Pain is still pain, no sugarcoating, but presence keeps it from swallowing everything else. And if a part of you resists, if I slow down, I'll fall behind. Flip the logic. What if you're behind because you never slow down? Speed without awareness multiplies mistakes. Stillness before action multiplies results. Great performers across fields do the same thing differently. They reset, then execute. They don't wait for life to be calm inside. So let me ask you directly, if everything is temporary, how will you treat this breath? This sentence? This person in front of you? Will you rush past them to get back to your worry? Or will you give them your full weight? The quality of your life is the sum of how you answer that question, moment after moment. Let's seal it with a vow you can carry into the rest of your day. Everything is temporary. This moment is all I have, so I will be here fully. Say it once more. Let it settle in your chest. Then take the next small, honest action from this steadier place. Guard that presence like a craft you're proud of, because when you live here, time stops slipping through you and starts serving you. And in the next chapter, we'll stack this presence with a concrete routine to protect it. So your calm isn't an accident, it's your new default. What if the strongest yes you'll say today starts with a clean, confident no? Most people chase productivity hacks, but the quiet superpower that protects your energy and your sanity is simpler. My boundaries protect my peace. Say it once, like you mean it. Here's the truth busy people forget. Calendars don't get crowded by accidents. They get crowded by unmade decisions. If you don't set the gate, the world will schedule your life for you, and it does not care about your nervous system. The Stoic move isn't to control other people. It's to control the doorway to your attention. You decide what gets in. You decide what stays out. So we start in the morning, when your day is still soft clay. Before the phone, before the inbox, pick 3 non-negotiables. 1 essential outcome you'll complete no matter what. 1 clear no you're willing to say to a meeting, a request, a distraction. 1 screen-free block to keep your mind clean. 15 to 30 minutes is enough to tilt the whole day. Why this works? Boundaries convert vague intention into visible structure. Focus more is a wish. No notifications for the first hour is a wall. Be available is a slope. I'm heads down 9:30 as a spine. The difference? One gets washed away by urgency. The other teaches people how to work with you, not over you. Try this mantra out loud before you answer a single message. My boundaries protect my peace. Say it before that quick favor arrives. Say it before you volunteer for a fire you don't own. Say it before your calendar becomes a museum of other people's priorities. It's not defiance, it's design. Let's make it painfully practical. Here's a 60-second boundary setup you can run every morning. Calendar a meeting with yourself, 15-30 minutes. Title it, Deep Work, Do Not Disturb. Silence everything for the first hour. Bad news can wait. Your best work can't. Paste a ready-made decline you'll use without guilt. I'm focused on X this morning and can't take on Y right now. If it's still needed after time, I can revisit. Thank you for understanding. That's it. 1 minute. And the whole day feels different. You might worry, won't I seem difficult? Watch what actually happens. Clear boundaries don't repel the right people, they earn their respect. Teams move faster when your availability is predictable. Families breathe easier when your present time is real. Clients trust you more when you protect the focus that produces results. Boundaries don't block connection. They improve it because you show up whole instead of half distracted. Let me paint 2 versions of the same day. Day A. You start in your inbox. Say yes to 3 quick calls. Squeeze your priority into leftover minutes and carry a slow burn of resentment all afternoon. Day B. You guard 30 quiet minutes. Finish the 1 outcome that actually moves the needle. Decline 2 misfit requests with kindness and end the day lighter than you started. Same workload, different rules of engagement. Here's a reframe that helps when guilt knocks. Discipline isn't self-imprisonment, it's self-permission. Permission to give your best work a fair shot. Permission to be fully present with people you love. Permission to let urgent to someone else. Stop kidnapping your attention every hour. The more you practice it, the more you realize peace is not found, it's protected. A quick field guide for common pressure points. Meetings. Ask, what's the decision we must leave with? If there isn't one, request notes instead. Slack, divided by email. Batch replies at set windows, for example, 11:30 and 4:30. Announce it, keep it. Drive-by requests. Use the 2-line triage. Acknowledge, clarify. Calendar. Got it. What's the outcome? And deadline. If it's not today's top 3, I'll slot it Thursday. Personal life. Protect a no-phone meal daily. The people at your table are not competing with your screen. You won't be perfect. There will be days you overcommit, cave to pressure, or let the scroll steal an hour. Don't judge it, adjust it. Boundaries are muscles, not switches. When you slip, run a micro reset. One breath in, longer breath out. Then restate it, my boundaries protect my peace. Follow with one concrete act. Decline, defer, or delegate. Small course corrections. Applied early, prevent big crashes later. Why push this so hard? Because habits harden into character. Aristotle reminded us, we are what we repeatedly do. If you repeatedly scatter your attention, you become a scattered person even when you have time. If you repeatedly defend your peace, you become the calm center people count on, especially when time is short. Do it long enough, and you won't just set boundaries. You'll become someone whose presence sets the tone. Before we close, ask yourself 3 quick questions. What single yes today deserves my best? What no said kindly would unlock 2 hours this week? What signal will I send my brain each morning to prove my peace matters? Answer them, and you're not just planning a better day, you're building a better identity. Seal it with me, steady and clear. My boundaries protect my peace. Guard that sentence like a key. Use it to open the day you intend to live. And stay close, because next, we'll pair those boundaries with one more habit that multiplies their power. One honest action that turns clarity into momentum. What if the fastest way to change your day wasn't motivation, wasn't a perfect plan, wasn't even a feeling? What if it was one honest action you take in the next 10 minutes? Not flashy, not for show, just real. Say it with me. One honest action today. Some mornings your mind feels heavy. The tank is low. That's not a stop sign. That's an invitation to simplify. Don't wait to feel ready. Readiness is what shows up after you start. So we shrink the mountain to a step you can actually take. Here's how this works. Before the world rushes in, whisper it once. One honest action today. Then pick something so clear your brain can't argue. The phone call you've been avoiding. 5 sentences of the draft that's been haunting you. 10 minutes of movement to wake up your body. It doesn't need to be grand. It needs to be true, aligned with who you're trying to become. Why does this tiny move matter so much? Because action feeds identity. Every small step teaches your brain a new sentence. I'm the kind of person who shows up. You don't have to win the whole day. You have to win the next moment, and then let that win pull the next one forward. If you like structure, steal this 1-minute momentum ritual for the next 7 mornings. Breathe. In for 4, out for 6, 2 cycles. Tell your nervous system, we're safe. Name one action that's honest with your values. Write it down, 10 words max. Time box it. Set a 10-15-minute timer. No perfection, just progress. Finish and mark it. Say out loud. Maybe you're thinking, 10 minutes can't change my life. You're right, it changes your trajectory. 2 degrees today becomes miles different by month's end. That's how books get written, bodies get stronger, businesses turn around, relationships heal. Not with a miracle day, with honest minutes that stack. Let me give you a picture. 2 versions of the same morning. Version A. You scroll for inspiration. Compare your life to strangers. Promise you'll start after 1 more video. Noon hits. You're tired and oddly guilty. Version B. You take 1 breath, set a 12-minute timer, and draft 5 sentences you don't love yet, but they exist. Guilt turns into momentum. By lunch, you've shipped something small and have energy left. Same life, different first move. Here's a reframe that helps when the perfection voice gets loud. Perfection is an illusion. When you pick one honest action, you trade the fantasy of someday for the proof of today. A quick story from a client in healthcare shift work. Constant alarms, 0 free time. We built a 10-minute honest action window at the start of each day. Some days it was stretches and water. Some days it was a hard text. I'm sorry, here's my plan to fix it. Over 6 weeks, nothing about her world got easier. She got steadier. Why? Identity shifted from I'm overwhelmed to I'm accountable. Same storms, stronger keel. Use this micro check to choose your action each morning. True? Does this matter to you, not just to other people's expectations? Tiny? Can you start it without negotiating with yourself? Timed? If it hits all three, you've found your move. If it doesn't, shrink it until it does. And when you slip, and you will, don't narrate a failure. Run a reset. One breath in, longer out, then ask, what's the next honest action? Not tomorrow, not tonight, now. The goal isn't to never drift. It's to return faster. Here's a field guide for common resistance. I don't feel like it. Great. Do it because you don't feel like it. I don't have time. Borrow it from your scroll. 10 minutes exists. Claim it. It won't be perfect. Exactly. Perfection is the tax that keeps you from starting. Progress pays you back with momentum. Remember, this sits on top of the foundation you've already built. Gratitude to start the day steady, boundaries to protect your focus, presence to slow time down. Now you convert all of that into movement, quiet, consistent compounding. Sealed today with a single sentence. One honest action today. Whisper it once more. Feel your shoulders drop as the decision gets simple. Then do the thing. When you're done, mark it, smile, and carry the proof into the rest of your day. And if you want a morning compass that keeps you aligned, keep these lines close. I'm grateful to be here. Yesterday doesn't own me. I control my mind. Kindness is my superpower. Everything is temporary. This moment is all I have. My boundaries protect my peace. One honest action today. One step, then the next. That's how quiet days become powerful lives. What if the most life-changing routine you ever adopt takes less than 2 minutes and you can start it tomorrow morning? No hacks, no hype, just 7 simple lines that reset your head, steady your nerves, and point your day in the right direction. Here's the compass we've been building toward your morning mantra stack. Say it slowly, breathe between each line, and let the words land in your body, not just your mind. Read that again. Each line does a different job. Gratitude lowers the static. Letting go of yesterday cuts the chain. Mind control, the real kind, puts you back in the driver's seat. Kindness turns strength inward and outward at the same time. Impermanence pulls you into the present. Boundaries protect your focus. And one honest action turns clarity into momentum. Why stack them? Because your nervous system listens to patterns more than promises. When you repeat these lines, you're not manifesting, you're retraining. Breath slows, shoulders drop. The gap between stimulus and response widens. That's where better choices slip in. Calmer tone, cleaner priorities, fewer apologies to yourself at night. Let's make it practical. Tomorrow morning, before your phone, try this 90-second reset. Breathe in for 4, out for 6, 3 cycles. Speak the stack, 1 line per breath. Choose one boundary for the first hour. No notifications, no news, or no multitasking. Pick one honest action that would make today a win, even if everything else goes sideways. Start it for 10 minutes. That's it. You can do it sitting on the edge of your bed. You can do it while the kettle boils. No candles required. Consistency is the magic here. Keep it small so you actually keep it. Here's what tends to happen when you stick with it for a week. You don't become a different person, you become a steadier version of yourself. You catch the spiral sooner. You return faster. You spend less time fighting the day and more time shaping it. People around you feel the shift too. Rooms calm down, conversations get clearer, deadlines feel firm but not fatal. This is what agency feels like. Not control over the world, but control over the way you meet it. A quick picture to lock it in. 2 mornings, same schedule. Without the stack, autopilot wins. You chase pings, match the loudest voice in the room, and end the day with mental crumbs. With the stack, you set tone before you touch tasks. You protect one deep block, Choose one brave step and close the day with energy left. Same storms, different captain. And if you miss a day, if you tumble straight into the noise, don't dramatize it. Mini reset at the next chance. One breath in, longer breath out, pick up at line 3. I control my mind. Then keep going. The goal isn't perfection, it's pattern. Patterns become habits. Habits become character. So here's your simple commitment, whispered like a promise to the person you're becoming. I'll keep the stack small enough to do daily and strong enough to change me. Before we wrap, a word on why this matters now. Our world rewards urgency, outrage, and constant comparison. Your stack rewards presence, patience, and purposeful action. That trade is how real confidence is built, not the loud kind. The quiet kind you can trust at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. alike. If this resonated, don't let it stay an idea. Make it a practice. For the next 7 mornings, guard the first 90 seconds and run the stack out loud. Then tell me what changed your focus, your tone, your sleep, your sense of control. I think you'll be surprised by how much power was waiting in a minute you used to scroll away. If you want to keep building this muscle with me, subscribe and stay close. The next video dives deeper into turning these lines into a living routine, how to protect your calm on busy days, handle resistance without losing momentum, and train the kind of inner strength people feel when you walk into the room. Until then, take a breath, choose your line, and start your day on purpose. I'm grateful to be here. Yesterday doesn't own me. I control my mind. Kindness is my superpower. Everything is temporary. This moment is all I have. My boundaries protect my peace. One honest action today. See you tomorrow morning.